Welcome to Her Story of Love. Here we tell stories that belong to the greatest women in history. Please, support our project by subscribing. Today we are going to talk about one of the most controversial, yet beautiful Hollywood love stories. This union stretched for 30 years, but has never been acknowledged by the public. Meet the story of Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy. Katharine Hepburn was 34 when she met 41-year-old Spencer Tracy on the set of the comedy drama, called Woman of the Year, in 1942. Tracy was brought up in a family of traditional values and religious background, and so he was not initially impressed with very liberal Hepburn and her no-nonsense attitude. However, as soon as they got together in front of the camera, their chemistry was undeniable. Hepburn later told that she knew right away that she found him irresistible. Their brilliant banter and long sideways glances were Hollywood treasure, cherished by the studio executives and the fanbase alike. The pair would go on to star in 8 more movies together. One of their colleagues shared a precious memory of Hepburn and Tracy getting together at lunchtimes at the studio, where they would just meet and sit on a bench on the lot. They would hold hands and talk, and everybody left them alone in their little private world. Hepburn once said, "On screen, Spencer and I are the perfect American couple, but off-screen it was a different story." Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn had a love that lasted almost 30 years, but Tracy was married to someone else the entire time they were together. He married Louise Treadwell in 1923, long before he met Hepburn, and the pair had 2 children together. Tracy was a devoted father, but after a brief breakup early in the relationship, he and his wife always lived separately afterwards. However, Spencer Tracy was a devoted Catholic and divorce, no matter how estranged the marriage had been, was never an option for him. Tracy never publicly admitted his relationship with Hepburn, nor did he ever acknowledge his feelings for her. This, of course, only fueled the myths and the gossip about the famous duo. But the fact that they never shared a home and were rarely seen in public together helped to protect Tracy's family from the scandal. His relationship with Hepburn was not the only challenge in Tracy's life. He was also battling alcoholism throughout his adult life, and frequently checked out of the relationship to pursue other affairs. Hepburn, however, never seemed to mind her second place in his life, perhaps due to her ever-present desire for independency, and very progressive views on marriage and gender roles. Besides, she had already been married once and declined a few proposals from other men. Hepburn, who once described Tracy as tortured, said that all she wanted was for him to be happy, safe, comfortable. She wrote in her autobiography, "I liked to wait on him, listen to him, feed him, work for him. I tried not to disturb him. I was happy to do this. It was a unique feeling I had for Tracy. I loved him. I would have done anything for him." Hepburn was once asked why she stayed with Tracy for so long, taking into account the circumstances, and she replied, "I honestly don't know. I can only say that I could never have left him. We just passed 27 years together in what was to me absolute bliss." Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy were star-crossed lovers, soulmates perhaps, whose blissful, but complicated bond lasted for almost 30 years, hidden from the public eye. This relationship would have likely lasted longer if it was not for Tracy's sudden death in 1967. He died in Katharine Hepburn's home because of a heart attack. And that is when Hepburn called his wife to deliver the sad news. They had never spoken or met before. If you are enjoying this story, please support our channel by subscribing. When Treadwell received the call, she said to Hepburn, "I thought you were only a rumor." Hepburn later recalled her feelings during the conversation. "A rumor. Can you imagine? 30 years her husband isn't there, and she thinks I'm a rumor." On the day of the funeral, Hepburn waited until the service is over and only then visited the mortuary to see the love of her life for the last time before the funeral. She did not want her presence to be known. She also later told that she never watched the last movie that they filmed together, as the memories were too painful. However, not everyone believed that the union between Hepburn and Tracy was genuine, and their relationship was of romantic nature. Hepburn appeared to be a fiercely independent woman, who did not require or desired anything from men, and even declined marriage proposals. She was often labeled a lesbian. As for Tracy, his alleged homosexuality was thought of as a factor contributing to his struggles with alcohol. Rumors about the pair's sexual orientation continued to flourish even after their deaths. Scotty Bowers, who was a well-known Hollywood hustler, wrote in his book, "They were merely friends, they were not in the bed department at all. We will never know for sure whether this relationship was a romantic union or a cover-up story, to hide what was considered unacceptable back then. But does that even matter, when this amazing bond stretched for nearly 3 decades and the affection that Hepburn and Tracy shared lasted until their deaths? We have made this video with love and respect for the people whose story we've told. Thank you for watching and remember to subscribe to see more her stories of love.